Alright guys, TacticalRab back again today. Hope you're all doing well and enjoying your day so far on a cracking day of Call of Duty action we have just had, especially the final match of the day. Game 5, round 11 does not get too much better than this. Seeing the new Los Angeles Thieves in action as well was very interesting, with LAN just around the corner. And do take your thoughts in the comment section below. Like if you guys enjoyed the video, subscribe if you are new as always, I greatly appreciate it. It really helps out the channel. Thank you very much indeed for doing that. First of all, Clayster's girlfriend tweets this out. This man is unwell today, so he was absolutely going off on the main stage right here in some comps that he was having in scrims or whatever, so certainly fired up for their match they would have up against the London Royal Ravens. Important one for New York really, just to solidify the 4-0 in their group, get over the line in that series and put themselves in a very nice spot indeed going into this major. These were the two games, Subliners Ravens. This match, first of all, last time, in last stage, it was a game 5 that Royal Ravens actually managed to win with their previous squad though. This team, honestly, they could be the worst team in the game right now. The way they're looking is not good by any means. They get completely wiped off the map. Doesn't really seem like Ravens at the present time have any chance of winning at all. This though was kind of funny, because of course yesterday OpTic lost to Seattle Surge, remarkable series that was, of course, and Kenny was waiting for the tweet, right, because the Kenny and Form will have this thing every time they lose, the other one will like each other's tweets. I imagine that Kenny's tweet after this series 4 was probably already gone in and tried to smash that like button right there, but as Kenny says right here at Formal, still waiting for your tweet from yesterday so I can hit it with the massive favourite. And as he says, like, I just lost so much for yesterday, didn't even tweet about it, but yes, this I suppose this little, not exactly beef, but it's certainly good pre-game or post-game ritual, is continuing on at the very least. So this going into the day, right, this is actually pretty interesting from the Thieves side. The record playing with Slasher and Kenny back in the since the start of the season, 10-9 in hardpoint, pretty similar all the way across the board. Didn't have the best record, let's just say. That's when these guys were teaming together right to the start of the season. Game 1 though, complete bloodbath. I mean, Mac Melts and Hydra were just dominating the entire series. When we look at the stats right here to finish off the series, I mean, London just got completely put in the dirt. This was the game 2 as well. I mean, again, it's a classic Ravens. Like, you can't make this stuff up for the Ravens. They're up 4-2. Afro, of course, in the 1v2, so a little bit of a difficult spot for him, most certainly. But Mac managed to get the job done right here. And from once again, our Ravens advantage, like, this is the thing. Ravens, every time they have an advantage, you just feel like they're probably going to fall short to some degree or another. And, they go up 4-2 right here, then it goes to 4-3, then it goes all the way to a game 5. But look at this stat right here that was pulled up on stream at the time. 6 in 4 are, search and destroy round 11s, that being, New York Subliners, of course, right now. And on the other side, London have not won a single round 11 this year. They go into the round 11, who do you think is going to win? And London just do the classic thing, they get picked off one by one. Like, I don't understand. Like, if you want to have a chance of winning any championship, you've got to have some sort of clutch factor, right? And, of course, they're nowhere near that level anyway. And even when they do get put in clutch situations, they still can't get over the line. So they managed to do the James Bond of, round 11 so far this season, moving to 0 in 7, which is, of course, they lose this map, as you may well expect. Then they go into the control, just completely dominate them. You can see Hydra right here still wasn't perfectly well, but he seemed a little bit better in the interview. And, I mean, yeah, crazy scenes, to be honest. Ravens just get completely demolished. They did win one round right here in the control. I was pretty amazed right there if you managed to win a round, but doesn't really phase the Subliners at all. And this is really what the best teams do very well, I would say, on the Subliner side. Against the weaker competition, they come in and just snuff out the opposition without any issues when they go into this map 3. This is where OpTic, of course, had their issues yesterday against Seattle Surge, and also against the Paris Legion, where they went up 2-0 and then lost the control. Control is just such an important game, and obviously all game modes are really important, but winning your controls consistently is super key, because, I mean, the difference between going up 2-1 and down 2-1 in a series is obviously very massive as well, but also when you're up 2-0, being able to just close out and get on with the next one is something which is very valuable indeed, especially when your opposition is under pressure. Subliners, FaZe, Ultra, the 3 best teams in the game, do that incredibly well right now, and that's one of the key reasons they find themselves as those top 3 teams, of course. These are the stats. I mean, look at this. It seems just kind of chilling. Matt goes plus 25 for 1.64. Hydra goes plus 24 for 1.65. And Clayster with a 1.020. Sorry, the slide on the Royal Ravens. Yeah, not pretty by any means since they made this roster change. That confirms that Clayster and the Subliners in the winners bracket for the major. They will play Toronto on Sunday for what looks like to be a battle for the first seed. Very exciting stuff indeed. This comes out for the Subliners as well, of course, after their 3-0 sweep up against the London Royal Ravens. Your boy made a guest appearance towards the end of this, so I'll just fast forward real quick so you guys can enjoy it before we then hop into the next series of the day, which was the Los Angeles Thieves versus Minnesota Rokkr. And this was, a much more entertaining one, let's just say that. This is how Group A stood going into this series. OpTic at 2-2. Thieves had to win this series to give themselves a chance of winners bracket. Rokkr winning this would guarantee themselves a winners bracket spot, then playing FaZe just in a couple of days' time for, to effectively fight for the first seed in that group. So he is inevitable. Thanos has been, Slash has kind of called himself for a few years. Really, it was around, I think, Black backups 4 times, the 100 Thieves squad, when a Slasher kind of started to consider himself Thanos or whatever, when the, you know, all the Avengers stuff was going on at the time, and that's kind of been a thing that has stuck for these last couple of years. This game one, though, was very interesting. Thieves really took some time to warm up right here. Standy had some great moments. Huke, well, there was a one kill I particularly remember that he didn't finish, which maybe he could have done, but towards the end of the game, Thieves actually turned up. They at least made this map competitive. It was 250 to 190, I believe, in the end, in the favor of the Minnesota Rokkr. There was a lot of discussion, however, about the spawns that were happening. Temp says, like, what are these spawns? What is even going on right here? Loony tweets about it, and we'll look at it in more detail in just a second. So this was the first screenshot I took of the situation. Thieves are down by about 55 points. Huke is in the back trying to rotate to the new hill. Now, what has happened here? MajorManiak, I'm pretty sure, makes a great play. He leaves the hardpoint deliberately so that as soon as he leaves the hardpoint, he stops anchoring the spawns towards the back, and therefore Huke isn't blocking these spawns over towards this P4. Therefore, the entire team spawns right here. Pretty crazy to think about. The entire team spawns right behind Huke, and well, the rest of the Los Angeles Thieves guys spawn over here. So as Loony's saying right here, spawns are pretty interesting, but if Major stays in the hill, they get the alley spawn, because if he leaves it though, but because he leaves it, they get the floating tank spawn over here, and then LA Thieves spawn at back alley. So really interesting and great play for MajorManiak to just push out the hill with a few seconds left, anchor the enemy spawns over towards the backside, and that, well, puts them in a great spot. But there was some discussion internally as to whether this should be the case. It just seems super weird, to be honest, for a lot of people, I think, that Huke's sitting right here, and the rest of the guys are all spawning behind them. But I guess in reality, where else could they possibly be spawning? However, though, they do end up losing that map. Of course, the Minnesota Rokkr take it, and then we go into this search and destroy, where Los Angeles Thieves completely dominate. Huke just completely took over this map. It was very impressive to see. Finally, he has a great map back here in the CDL. At least, well, you know, you get to see this guy's so much fun to watch. Right? When he's running around the map, he's channeling gunfights, seems super confident, taking every single gunfight in his favor, and it goes completely their way. I mean, actually, we saw, I'm pretty sure, in the final round, Slasher gets a 1 versus 2. He'll do it himself to finish off this game up against Attach and Priestahh. Takes down Priestahh, finishes off Attach, and that will get the job done in a very impressive search and destroy for the Los Angeles Thieves side of things. A MajorManiak here as well, with a 0 in 6 performance on his side, so not exactly the ideal one for him. And well, we actually looked at it right here. This was the Donut Club so far this season. MajorManiak is now officially in the Donut Club, so congratulations and welcome to the crew. Game 3, very interesting, right? This was a game that really Thieves probably should have found their way to close out. I think the Thieves with a bit more experience, and first of all, I do want to say, this Thieves squad very exciting to watch, and given how Rokkr are looking right now in the CDL, are much improved, I think, with the MajorManiak change. Of course, they're now fighting for the #1 seed in that group. That is impressive stuff, given they got 3-0'd by OpTic right at the start of the stage. Since they've been obviously looking a lot better, right? And if they can put up a good fight against FaZe, I think it'll prove the Rokkr are at least going to be competitive here for the championship, like they were a couple of events ago back at stage 2, for example. But on the Thieves side, they looked such an entertaining team to watch, to be honest. I love seeing these guys play. Slasher was back in form, certainly when we look at this game 4, as we will in a second. Huke had his moments as well, but still, some mistakes that came through, and I think in this round especially, they had a lot of opportunities here to Thieves to go over towards the A side. They decided to stack B a fair bit. It didn't really work out for them, and they lose this round to the Minnesota Rokkr, which really they maybe should have won on their offense, and then it goes all the way to a game 5, or round 5 at least, and this they kind of throw this away. They honestly, I don't really know what the Thieves guys were doing. They gave up their setup for some reason, and they decided to push it and take some challenges, and you know, just cleaning those type of plays up will put Thieves in a much better spot. They clearly have the talent to do it, I think on LAN especially. This is going to be a scary force if they can continue to improve, and well, certainly at a decent rate. But Rokkr take the game 3, but then game 4 was completely a different story. Slasher from the very start of this game just decided, alright, fine, I'll do it myself. I'm going to take over the game. He starts off like 8-0 or something, it's full streaks, basically did an Arcitys against OpTic on Moscow hardpoints when they played it a while ago, I think, and the rest of the game basically went in a very similar fashion as well. Like, he had streaks, it was just perfect hardpoint, to be honest, for the Thieves. They used the streak perfectly to rotate the hills together, and you know, honestly, I thought Rokkr could be pretty good at this map. It doesn't happen by any means. Kenny had some great moments as well. I mean, it was just the ARs on this team that you would expect. If you come into a Moscow hardpoint with an SMG, it can be a pretty tough time. You expect your ARs to go off on the main stage, as indeed they do. Slasher goes 23-8, I believe, towards the end of this, and Kenny goes like, I don't know, 17-10 or something pretty impressive as well. Yeah, Slasher dominating, only dying 8 times is very impressive at all, and well, I mean, a 60-point club, the Minnesota Rokkr here on this map, so that is very impressive. Send the game all the way to a game 5, and this is a very interesting game 5, to be honest, and again, I think it's a similar spot really, where Thieves, if they tighten up just a few mistakes right here, they win this map, they win the series. This was an essential map for them to win, to give themselves a chance up against OpTic in just a couple of days to actually get to the winner's bracket. Now, it does put OpTic in somewhat of a better spot, I imagine, because they have the tiebreaker up against Minnesota Rokkr. Minnesota Rokkr, though, are guaranteed, and Thieves can't make it now, so really crazy tiebreaker stuff going on down there. I think that Seattle has actually have a possibility to leapfrog OpTic because they have the tiebreaker over OpTic, so some crazy scenarios, not exactly 100% sure how it all does play out now, but this round especially, right, it was a 3 versus 2 retake for the guys in LA Thieves. I mean, MajorManiak makes a great play, right, but Kenny's challenging him for the window, probably shouldn't have peeked out quite as much as he did, maybe he thought the Huke was closer than he was, and then Huke comes around the corner, loses the gunfight, he doesn't seem fully prepared, even though MajorManiak was on somewhat lower health, I mean 111 right here, but obviously a nice spot from, MajorManiak right there, tags up the final player as well, and there's nothing TJ can really do about the situation. This then was the final round, like, talking about misplays from some of these guys, I mean, it must be said, right, given what Crimsix has said about Huke, right, and, look at the minimap, this type of stuff, certainly some plays from Huke this series were certainly questionable. At the same time, his first series back in the Pro League for quite a while, so understandable that there's going to be some jitters and maybe not making perfect plays, but they go all the way to a round 11. Slasher makes a great couple of plays in a few of these rounds to tie them up the series, and I mean, look, game 5, round 11, there was so much on the line in this one, and Huke, as you can see right here, getting picked off in a fashion which really is pretty much unacceptable, right? It's 4 versus 4. First blood is everything, especially for the guys on the offense. Defense certainly has an advantage in 4v4, but then when it goes to 4v3, the offense can do what they want really and stack up and go towards the site. And Huke right here, he got tagged up a couple of times. I get that he was scared of getting naded in the corner, but if he just waits for like one more second and then slides away, he's guaranteed to like get away with his life here. But he peeks out just soon, and Attach makes a good play going for the pre-fire just in case that Huke makes a mistake. He does indeed make the mistake. Attach takes him down, and that pretty much cost them the game, to be honest, in the game 5 round 11. So look, Huke played a great series, no doubt, but that one play I'm sure he'll be thinking about tonight, and I mean, look, certainly some tightening up to be done for the Thieves side, but still an exciting squad to watch nonetheless. As Saint says, secured winners bracket at the stage for Major. Play FaZe for first in group, and actually that game will indeed be tomorrow, and this is how it looks right now in the group. So Thieves, Legion and Surge down here at 1 and 3. OpTic looking good, but if Surge win their series up against the Legion, and OpTic then lose to Thieves, then I imagine those teams will be 2 and 3 still, and we have an interesting spot where Surge can actually potentially leapfrog OpTic. I'm not really sure how this plays out. It's going to be interesting. I'll catch you guys up on the scenarios when I am more aware of them, but these were the overall stats I thought was kind of crazy, excluding map 3 damage for the control. They didn't put the scoreboard up, unfortunately, once again, but this is kind of crazy to think about. They got completely fried in game 2 and game 4, and negative overall in the series as a team, but still managed to take it in a game 5 round 11. So fair play to the Rokkr guys. Honestly, great couple of series that we've had to finish off these last few days. Intrigued to your thoughts in the comment section below. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy it, I'd greatly appreciate a like on the video. Really helps out the YouTube algorithm that you enjoyed this content. Other people like you may enjoy this content as well, and I've grown the competitive Call of Duty community. Thank you for watching as always. Take care, and I will see you next time.